welcome back to Fun Fridays. My name's Maddie and I'm one of your summer 2021 STEM instructors with Creative Encounters with Science. In today's video, we're going to be exploring acids and bases, as well as the pH scale, with a fun experiment that you can do right at home. Please note that this experiment does require adult supervision. There are a couple things that we're going to need in order to do this experiment today. A blender, a measuring cup, a red cabbage, 5 clear containers or glasses, just like these ones, some Dawn dish soap, vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice, a sieve, and some warm or hot water. A pen and sticky notes will also come in handy near the end of our experiment. So before we get started, let's talk acids and bases. Acids and bases are a special type of chemical. Almost every liquid can be classified as either an acid or a base. So what makes it an acid or a base? Well, the type of ions in the liquid. If the solution has lots of hydroxide ions, it can be classified as a base. If it has lots of hydrogen ions, then it can be classified as an acid. Scientists use something called a pH scale to measure how acidic or basic a liquid is. The pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, where a pH of 0 to 7 indicates that the liquid is acidic, and a pH of 7 to 14 indicates that that liquid is basic. 0 indicates a super strong acid, and 14 indicates a super strong base. If a liquid has a pH of 7, it's said to be neutral. So scientists can tell if a liquid is an acid or a base by means of an indicator. An indicator is just a chemical that typically changes color in the presence of an acid or a base. And that is where our red cabbage comes in this experiment. Red cabbage actually contains a water-soluble pigment called anthocyanin, and anthocyanin is a natural indicator. It changes color in the presence of acids and bases. The pigment turns red in acidic environments, and it turns bluish-green in basic environments. If there is no color change, then this means the solution is neutral and therefore has a pH of 7. Today we're going to be testing 4 different solutions to see if they classify as an acid or a base. We're going to be using Dawn dish soap, or just any dish soap, lemon juice, baking soda, and vinegar. You can do this with lots of items around your house, but these are just the 4 we've decided to work with today. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take pieces of our cabbage and rip them up into really small pieces and place them in our blender. Let's go ahead and do that. Now that our blender is filled with red cabbage, we're going to add some warm water just to fill up the container. Now that our blender is filled with warm or hot water and cabbage, we're going to put on the lid and blend it up. The next thing we are going to do is take the liquid that we just blended up in our blender and pour it through this sieve into our measuring cup. This is just going to help us strain out any of the cabbage that didn't get fully blended. Now that we have all of our juice strained into our measuring cup, we're going to pour equal parts into each of our 5 glasses. So I went ahead and labeled my cups. We're going to be using this one in the middle as the control, which means we're not going to add any liquids to it, but the other ones we've labeled with dish soap, baking soda, lemon juice, and vinegar. So because cabbage has anthocyanin in it that acts as an indicator, when we add each of these liquids, we're going to see a color change in these cups. So let's go ahead and add vinegar to the first cup. Perfect. right, so as we can see, vinegar changed to a pinky color. And if we remember, we discussed that red was going to be the color that a liquid changed to if it was an acid. So in this case, we can say that vinegar is an acid. Next, let's do dish soap. So I'm going to pour some dish soap just in this cup and give it a stir, and we'll be able to look at the color change. So it might be hard to tell, but it did change to blue, and therefore we can determine that dish soap is in fact a base. The next liquid we're gonna add to our cabbage juice is lemon juice. So as we can see, just like with our vinegar, the lemon juice in the cabbage juice turned a reddy pink, and therefore we can say that lemon juice is an acid. Last but not least, we're gonna add some baking soda to our last cup of cabbage juice that doesn't have anything in it. And we're just gonna give that a stir. Again, it might be hard to see, but we can also see that our baking soda did in fact turn blue, and therefore we can also say that baking soda is a base. So now we've officially completed our experiment, but let's talk a little bit more about the results. Here we have dish soap and baking soda, which turned a little bit blue, which indicates that they are in fact bases. This means that these solutions have lots of hydroxide ions, and that is what our indicator, aka the red cabbage juice, anthocyanin, found out for us. Now, looking at our lemon juice and our vinegar, they turned a pinky red, which indicates that they are in fact acids. This means that our indicator found more hydrogen ions inside of them. Thanks for joining us. Come back next week to find out what our new Fun Friday theme is. Bye!